And I'm not going to try to pronounce it, I'll let you go with that, but it's an interesting horse from the Andrew Balding team.
He is indeed, and you know, we were just saying about obvious ones. This is a less obvious one perhaps for Andrew Balding. A horse called SCHMILSSON, I think we'll go with that pronunciation. A son of Muhara, who ran in a Nottingham maiden that has a lot of previous when it comes to unearthing good horses. I think Adam might be talking about the winner later on. I won't do a spoiler alert there, but obviously this is a race that's thrown up Mischief and Space Blues over the years, and SCHMILSSON ran a really good race in third. In fact, I liked all of his runs at 2 with a view to this season. He progressed as a juvenile, ran really well at Nottingham, staying on for second. He's by Muhara, he's out of ZZ Top, so he's a half-brother to Izzy Top and Jazzy Top. Obviously trained by James Fanshawe. Izzy Top certainly a dual Group 1 winner. And I think we're going to see him improve a lot when he goes handicapping. He's starting off a mark of 80, so I would think a run-of-the-mill handicap early in the season. Hopefully he can progress to sort of Royal Ascot level by June. Excited to see him for Andrew Balding. I think he can win races.
Incredible team Balding's got for this year, training for Juddmonte for the first time as well. A couple of high-profile 2-year-olds sent his way from there. Now, David, for you, it's a sprint handicapper who we're about to see on video in winning action at the Qatar Goodwood Festival.
Yeah, so When the Dealing's Done is my choice for Roger Teal, and I think this horse, like a lot of similar types, a 3-year-old sprinter, you just sort of see him go the right way as the season goes on, and I think cheek pieces and being gelded really helped this horse, and this is him winning at Goodwood, and just really like the way that he knuckles down in the yellow cap. You can see him here coming up the rail and really strong at the finish this day, but it's almost a case of I'm more interested in him for what he did after that when he wasn't quite so strong in the finish, and that was in the Portland. Now that was a race that worked out really well, and When the Dealing's Done, he moved through the race in really good style, didn't quite see it out, but it's a strong piece of form. Like I say, the first 2 came out and won next time, and I just think that when this horse goes back to 5 furlongs, you're going to see him win a half decent handicap this year. And we know that there's not really a huge class bridge for horses from good handicaps to group races that they have to make, and I think the 5 furlong division in particular doesn't look at all strong this year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see When the Dealing's Done end up in group races by the end of the season. And
Adam, for you at the other end of the stamina spectrum with a stayer trained in Scotland.
Yeah, he came, this Ravenscraig Castle is the horse in question, and he came a long way in quite a short space of time last season. He won a couple of lowly races in the north in his first 2 starts. I think one at Carlisle, one at Ayr. I think, but the first one was from a mark of 69, and the second one was from a mark of 73. So you're talking quite weak races. And he could have probably picked up another couple of weak races of that kind on if his connections had chosen to go that way with him. But instead, as John Gosden would say, they decided to roll the big dice, and they went for the Skybet Melrose at the Ebor Festival at York, one of the most competitive 3-year-old handicaps you'll find all season. And for a horse who had been plying his trade at a much lower level, he ran an absolute stormer to finish 3rd. He was beaten only half a length at the line. And though he was beaten again on his next 2 starts last season, I just think we haven't got to the bottom of this horse yet. There's untapped stamina with him. He's only had 1 go at 2 miles, and I think that it's around that sort of trip that we're really going to see the best of him. And he starts this mark on a BHA mark of 87. I think there's plenty of room for manoeuvre from there, and it's easy to see him developing into the sort of horse to run in the big long distance handicaps, something like the Northumberland Plate, or further down the line the Cesarewitch. I think they're the sort of races you can easily see him going well in this year.
Thanks to Adam, to David and Ben, and just a reminder, we're doing this in association with Timeform Horses to Follow 2022, available now £10.95 through Amazon. I was saying to David on the way down in the lift that I don't think the title does it justice. It's not just Horses to Follow yet. There's 50 of those from Britain. We've got Horses to Follow from Ireland. There's sections talking to the trainers, focus on the sires, rising stars, classic Antepost previews, reports on of all last season's key ratings, and much, much more. Thoroughly recommended. That's Timeform Horses to Follow, available now for £10.95 through Amazon.